Hello, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. I did not fix the webcam before I started because I literally just sat down. So let's do that first. There we go. Fix the white balance. Camera control. Perfect timing, perfect timing. And that's okay because I'm going to fiddle with Destiny for a hot minute while I get myself a little situated. So we don't have to worry so much about. Okay, I'll have to read that later. I will have to read that later. All right. Wah, 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 wah. I made myself a lovely gin and ginger, this time with a little splash of lime, so it should taste delicious. Oh, the lime really makes a difference. It tastes so good. Perfection. Perfection. Parfait. This is not important. Okay. Just need to check what's on the store. Ooh, double nightfalls this week. I will have to do that. Go to the store. I just want to see what they've got in the weekly rotation. There's a chance to get Season Defiance items, but that's okay. I think I have everything I really kind of want and or need. Now it's just like whatever. Ignore all of this bullshit. This is all whatever. Yawn. What does that look like? Ooh, don't hate that. Don't hate that. Consider it. Meh. Whatever. Also meh. None of these are interesting. Oh, that's disappointing. Ooh, that's gross. And the rest of it I don't care about. Okay, well, I'll just get the one thing. And I don't even need to think about it. I honestly just booted this up to be like, I should think about this. But it's just... whatever. Okay. Easy peasy. I look so dark still. Huh. I wonder why that is. I don't want to turn up my lights any louder. Wow, okay. I'm going to turn the gain up a little bit more. Should it just be like this the whole time? Have I been doing this wrong the whole time? Should it really just be this, like this? I don't know. Weird. I didn't trim my mustache either. I can feel it poking me in my lip. Oh well. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. I am... tired is not the right word. It's not tired that I am, but I am tired. If that doesn't make sense. Allergies. That's the word of the day is allergies. I've been having a great time now that the sun is out and it's warmer and the pollen has decided to return from the time when it was rainy and there was no pollen in the sky. Because now the air hurts my face. Right, it's like groggy and like that's just what I feel like all the time now, and it's just I hate that. My eyes are really itchy. They were super fucking dry earlier today, and it was like to the point where I was sitting there like this at work, just like holding my head in my arms, just trying to like let my eyes not do what they're doing. And it wasn't working, and so that's why I was like considering canceling the stream, because I'm just like I don't even know if I want to keep my eyes open past a certain point tonight. But I grabbed some like just basic eye drops from CVS and put them in before I left work, and bam, immediate change. Now they're just itchy. I can't win, but at least they're not hurting. So. Oh, you got your first sunburn. My mother got hers too this last weekend. She ended up doing a race and thought she would be fine if she just got out of the sun early enough, and she did not, and now she has a pretty nasty sunburn. I am lucky so far. I have not had that problem yet. It will happen, inevitably. I always burn every single year. There's got to be at least one time, and it almost always happens on the Cape. It almost always happens on the Cape. My family and I are talking about doing a Cape vacation again at the beginning of the summer, like end of the month, early next month. And yeah, I'm going to get burnt. I'm almost certain of it. There's going to be a point where I'm going to be like, it's not really summer yet. I'm not on the beach. We don't need sunscreen, and then just red. I think actually the sunburn I got last year has only just faded off of my wrist. You can even kind of still see it's a little lighter right here than it is up here and down here, because I had my watch on here, and this arm just got so fucking burned. So 22 miles. Holy shit. I'm guessing this was for your traveling around all the different museums. That's the word I want. 22 miles. Damn. I 110% blame you, Ragnarok, for getting me started on this limoncello journey. Like, I ended up buying 2 bottles of Everclear today, which I consider to be a low point in my life. Because apparently Everclear is actually better than vodka most of the time. I did not know that, according to the internet. So I've decided to make both limoncello and orange cello. I don't know what else to call it, because you can do it with any citrus fruit. I don't like grapefruit, so no grapefruit. I thought about doing tangerine, but I just decided to go classic and do orange, you know? So I'm going to have like an orange cello and a limoncello, and then I can do spritzers with them both. I'm very excited about this. Arancino. Okay, didn't know that. Thank you. Very glad to know that. Dreamy the Zelda nerd, welcome. I am guessing just by your username, because I am prophetic, if you will. Are you going to be sick on Friday? I know I've considered it, but I won't. I'll just play it when I come home. Like a good employee. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. But hey, okay, that's what I was wondering about with the arancino thing, because I've had arancini before, like the fried rice balls, right? Because I've had those, and that's what I was thinking of. But interesting, they just use the same name. I guess it makes sense. Huh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited for the new Zelda game too myself. I'm not gonna lie. I am slowly getting there. Which is difficult because I have like 1 or 2 other games that I'm currently deeply into right now that I do not need another game, but it's gonna come out and I'm gonna play it like right away. It'll be interesting to see how I do with this one, because I had a very interesting relationship with Breath of the Wild when it came out. Breath of the Wild is ultimately the reason I got a Switch. I did not get a Switch on day 1, and I did not play Breath of the Wild. I played Breath of the Wild on a friend's Switch. They got theirs on day 1. And so I played a little bit of it, and I loved it so much that I decided to buy it for Wii U, because I had the Wii U at the time. And so I had fun playing it that way, but I don't think I did not finish it on there. I think I ended up putting it down, and I don't remember why. And then didn't end up actually playing it through until I got a Switch. And even then, it took me a long time to actually play through the whole thing. And then I played through a second time, didn't finish. Third time, didn't finish. The fourth time, the last time I played, which was last year, I think. I even streamed some of it here. I actually finished. I did the whole thing. I did like not every Korok seed, but pretty fucking close. Or maybe I did every Korok seed. I don't remember. I was using a map and I was like going methodically. And doing every shrine and doing all the DLC, like everything. And it was even at that point, like this weekend, I booted up my game again and was like, where did I leave off? Did I finish? I don't remember. Because I was so used to not finishing this game. It turns out that I did finish, and the last save I have on there is right before the final fight with Ganon. So I'm like, okay, we're all good to go. Because apparently some of the stuff actually does carry over, which is interesting. Yeah, the Wii U gamepad was a thing. It was a thing. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. It was very much like you play on the Wii U with the gamepad and you're like, I see what they wanted the Switch, I see what they wanted to do, and the Switch is that thing. This is not it. It's like a proto Switch in the worst way. Um, I know at the time I really liked it when it came out because it meant that I could play video games in the living room, where so like at the time it came out, there was only one TV in my house. And my father wanted to watch things on it when I wanted to play video games, and he would always went out because he's dad or whatever. And not always. I got to play stuff, but like it was always a little bit of weird tension, and I liked the idea that I could just like sit there, plug my headphones in, and play my game without him having to deal with it on the TV. But yeah, ultimately it still was like an imperfect solution because I would have preferred to be in my room, which ultimately the Switch let me do. So yeah, the Wii U was a good system in a lot of other ways. It gets a lot of shit, but it ultimately was like still pretty good. I have a tendency not to sell my Nintendo consoles. I end up holding on to them until they become vintage at this point. I still have my original GameCube, and I will never let that go. GameCube for life. And actually, I need to double check and see that it actually still works. The thing, like, GameCubes are fucking tanks. They don't die. But like, I have my Wii, which is broken, and so I don't think I could sell it if I wanted to. I've got my Wii U, and that one's in fine shape, I think, but like everything that I would play on Wii U, I either have on Switch or I have emulated on here. Not even necessarily because it was from like for instance, the one of the games that I have still never finished playing is Wind Waker, Zelda Wind Waker. And I have the GameCube version emulated on here through Dolphin. So oh yeah, no, it definitely can break, but like they are tanks. They are giant bricks. You could launch one out of a cannon, and I'm pretty sure you could probably still plug it in. It would still work. Like it takes a lot to break those things, and mine has not seen a lot of action. It's been used like a GameCube should be used, so I can't remember what status it is. I remember I tried to use it to stream on here at one point, and it worked fine, but it just produced like the setup that I had produced such a dark signal that it was so hard to see, even for me, what was actually happening. Like for some reason the picture was just super dark, and I think it was just because of the like analog to digital setup that I had. As soon as I started emulating instead, it just looked way better. Purple. Purple, 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 purple. Can't tell, purple is a favorite color. Um, so of course I have the purple GameCube. We've got two purple controllers. And now that I'm so far out of warranty, you'd think that I would be okay with like modding my Switch to have whatever color I want, but I still feel really nervous about like taking it apart. But again, it's so out of warranty. There's like no big downside. Changing the case of the Switch and the Joy-Cons is not a terribly hard thing to do. For some reason, I'm just very nervous to do it because I think I would kind of love to get like the Nintendo 64 like clear purple style, right? Like that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Maybe I will. Here, I think you can even get them on Amazon now. Like, let me see. Jeff Bezos, man, do you have things? Nintendo Switch. Clear purple? I don't know if that's right. Yeah. $30. There you go. Atomic purple backplate. Full set with buttons? Oh, okay. You can get one with purple buttons, or you can get one with the red, green, blue, and yellow. That's cute. Oh yeah, the red Joy-Con thing. Yeah, so I have one I think that has some drift, but then the alternative is so I have one pair that has drift problem, and the other pair, one of them just randomly disconnects sometime. And this is the other issue with me deciding that I want to like replace the case on my Switch or whatever. I don't really play mobile that much. I like playing docked the most. So like at the end of the day, it's kind of, I don't know. Oh wow, they have Game Boy Colors. That's the same as the one that I had. That's amazing. This is so cool. You get so many different clear atomic purple, black, chameleon green, purple. Oh, so it's got like a shift color. That's cool. Blurple. This is pretty cool. Why is it only a 4 out of 5? Only bad thing is the paint job is slightly off and you have the back plate and the kickstand put together. Oh, well that's someone tedious to install. Do not use the provided screwdrivers. Okay. Sounds like most people just have tiny little annoyances. Huh. Anyway, that's just one. I wouldn't necessarily just dive in. I have the purple and orange one too. Yeah, the orange is, I wish that I could get purple on both sides, but they don't sell purple left ones here in the United States for some reason. They sell them in Japan. And they have like, even in Japan, they have like customize thing where you can actually like order individual Joy-Cons, like a left one and a right one from whatever series you want, whatever color. The fact that they don't let you do that here in the States kind of sucks. And the orange one is the one that's the problem for me. I don't know why it is, but it just like doesn't stay connected sometimes. Like it'll just randomly disconnect and stop working, and I have to unplug it and plug it back in, and it'll start working again. And I have no idea why. Like to this day, I just can't figure it out. All right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like the kind of goldenrod almost, right? Yeah. I don't generally like orange very much, but that color I'm fine with. They call it neon orange, but it doesn't look neon to me. I don't know. My original ones, the gray ones that came with it, they're the ones that have drift problems. Although I haven't gone back to them in a long time, so I don't know if maybe it's not as bad, or I don't know. It's probably not as bad as I remember it, or I know that there are a bunch of different ways you can fix the drift. I might be able to do that on my own. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's start playing some Nancy Drew. I do not remember where we are. Well, I'm going to assume that I just need to call people. I mean, if we call Bess, then we immediately just know what happened last, I suppose.
This caller ID stuff is going to take some getting used to.
Caller ID. Oh, God.
The dog Sally warned me about, and she was right. They were pretty scary.
You sure they weren't wolves or something?
They were definitely dogs. They came out of nowhere and started leaping at the windows
Puppies.
and scratching at the doors like they wanted to get in.
Maybe that was just their way of being friendly.
These dogs were not friendly, believe me, and they had glowing yellow eyes. A bird
Puppies.
watcher I ran into said they were ghosts.
They're puppies.
The man who built Sally's place on Moon Lake was a gangster. The bird watcher said that the ghosts of his dogs show up every time someone new tries to live here.
The place is haunted by ghost dogs? Like there's such a thing as ghosts. But it does sound like you've got another mystery on your hands, Detective Drew.
Moon Lake is gorgeous.
It is a real place. Interesting. Didn't know
The
that.
closest thing they have to a sheriff around here.
Park Ranger? What's he like? Which
Huh.
we all know is Bess's way of saying,
Yeah.
Park Ranger?
Cool.
Is he cute?
Not true, George. Nancy thinks everybody's cute, so what would be the point? Anyway, Nancy, you were saying?
Interesting. But it's in, like, northeastern Pennsylvania. It's not that remote, really. Like, it is remote, but, like, not that remote. Established in 1968. So they don't have anything about it being like a 1920s haven, unfortunately. They don't have anything in here about the Nancy Drew game? Aww. That's too bad. Although I guess this is just for the recreation area, as it says. The primary hydrological feature at Moon Lake Recreation Area is Moon Lake. No shit. Yeah. They have nothing about it until before 1968. Let me see if I can find where it is on the map and see whether it looks like it. It does not look like a moon. So this isn't that. Oh. Yeah. That's kind of sad, actually. The shape of it is not even that cool. It's just like a lake. Hey, it's close to Wilkes-Barre. So it's not far from, yeah, it's not far from Scranton. Northeast Pennsylvania is definitely remote. I've been through there, and it's been enough to make me nervous, but it being in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area makes me, not that I'm like ready to go visit or whatever, but let's see. How far of a drive from Scranton is it? Yeah, it's like less than an hour drive. That's not bad. Especially for Pennsylvania. Like, I did a road trip from Boston out to Pittsburgh in 2019, and it's a 12-hour drive, and 6 of those hours are in Pennsylvania. And I never want to do that drive again. And a big chunk of the reason is because I don't want to drive to Pennsylvania again. No offense to Pennsylvania, but yeah, at the time, I was presenting as a cis white man who gay, yeah, but like cisgender at least. And I was driving with a friend of mine who is a cisgender heterosexual white woman, and the two of us felt scared. Like, some of the places we stopped to like go to the bathroom or quickly grab a snack or something, it was like, we're gonna make our trip as quick as possible. Get in. Get the shit, get out. Don't make eye contact. don't linger any longer than we need to. Like, ugh.
Well, he seems like an okay guy, but frankly, nobody around here seems to like him very much.
Why's that?
He takes his job very seriously, which tends to rub some people the wrong way.
Did you tell him about the ghost dogs?
He thinks they're just plain old dogs that for some reason like to run around at night scaring people.
And what does Detective Drew think about the dogs?
I think Sally had good reason to be scared of them. I don't blame her for leaving, which leads me to think that maybe that was the whole idea.
Somebody had those dogs attack Sally in order to scare her away?
Why would anybody do that? She was there for less than a month.
You'd have to be a total creep to make enemies that fast. And
Yeah.
people I know.
Ooh, Nancy! Speaking of cute guys,
Um,
Frank and Joe Hardy called. I filled them in on where you are and what you're doing, and they're dying to hear from you.
the fucking, like, shoehorning of the Hardy Boys in these early games, I forgot how annoying it is. Like, please, stop trying to make them a thing. Just make them characters, or don't bring them up at all. Yeah, no, like, being... Like, at that time, I was not out even to myself, right? So I didn't even really know, or I hadn't really explored it too far. So I hadn't gotten my top surgery yet. I wasn't visibly trans. And now that I very clearly am, that drive has gotten a lot scarier to consider. And so I am flying this year. I'm going out to Pittsburgh again at the same time, early July, late June. And I am flying. I have a lot of Delta miles left over from when I had to cancel a bunch of flights during 2020 and the shutdown and everything. So I have a shit ton of flight credits to use, and that's all fine. And in the future, I have another friend who goes to the same event that I go to every year. And we what? He lives in Baltimore, and Baltimore is only a 3-hour drive. So, and flights to Baltimore from Boston are cheap. So, you know, I just do that. Well, thank you for the support, all the same.
Great. Did they leave a number?
It does mean a lot to know that there are at least some people who are some level of decency.
Didn't recognize it when they called and...
Listen, I don't need anyone to understand. I just need them to leave me alone.
Like an elephant, huh?
What's that supposed to mean?
Call them, Nancy. They're dying to hear from you. But remember, Frank's cute and all that, but George and I want to hear from you too.
Yeah, no fair discussing the case with them from now on and not with us. Promise you'll keep us up to speed?
I promise.
Like, it's funny having, like, the competing urges of being out and trans and wanting to be as out as possible for visibility reasons and being a outwardly facing ambassador, I guess, to the community if I need to be. Like, I am more than willing to take questions even if they're kind of stupid. I'll take them. As long as they're in good faith. That's my one qualification. Qualifier. But yeah, no, I also am from New England, and we have a very don't talk to me kind of attitude. Like, when I was in the South for grad school, it was a whole fucking thing because people would just be like smiling and trying to be like, hi, how are you doing, as we're walking down the street, and I'm like, why are you talking to me? I'm walking. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's full. Do not talk to me. So,
This birdwatcher I met has got me taking pictures of birds for some survey he's doing. He's a bit of a grump.
Does he live nearby?
No, he just kind of hangs out in the woods. In fact, I only see him at night.
Interesting. He's in the woods at night. The dogs are in the woods at night.
Could he have had a reason for wanting Sally out of the Malone house?
Maybe.
the
From what
gun
I
thing,
heard,
it's just, yeah, I don't
everybody
get it.
around here out of their houses.
I really
He
don't
thinks
get
there's
it.
too many people at Moon Lake, and it's ruining the bird watching. Ranger Akers called him a fanatic.
Fanatic equals suspect in my book.
I'm quite lucky to not know anyone that is like that. Like, no one that's gun crazy.
Get this. It turns
I
out
think I
that
have
just
some family members who
had a
hunt, but
park ranger if
they're
Sally
not that
sells her
bad.
Moon Lake property back to the bank, and they wind
I
up.
think they
selling
only
it to
have
the police
like basic
department.
rifles too, if I recall.
Responsible for all this ghost
Like
dog stuff?
one
He
shot
has a motive and he has a
reload
gun,
kind of
although
deals.
It doesn't look at all like the dogs that have been scaring Sally.
But it shows he knows something about dogs. Better pull out your suspect list and pencil him in, Nan.
I still say you guys should lighten up on him.
You two would get a kick out of the woman who owns this little store on Moon Lake.
How so?
She's a real country gal. We got this deal worked out where if I need something she carries, she'll let me do little chores to pay for it.
What kind of little chores?
Oh, like collecting bugs and worms so she can sell them to fishermen as bait.
Sounds delightful.
She also makes
Sounds
money selling
delightful.
antiques
Truth.
from the 1920s that
Truth.
she finds in Moon Lake.
Sounds like an enterprising woman.
Ranger Akers thinks she's getting them illegally.
Ah, an enterprising crook.
Dragging the lake to recover objects is against the law. He thinks she does it anyway, and that her favorite spot is in front of Sally's.
You know what that means.
It means Emily Griffin has made my suspect list.
Because if she is breaking the law, she'd want the Malone house to stay empty so she can keep dragging the lake without anybody seeing her.
Yeah, hunting culture is definitely weird. You know, so I grew up in New Hampshire and I was in southern New Hampshire, so it is kind of like kind of rural, but not really. I think the correct term is exurb. Because technically my house was part of a 1970s development, and there was a 1980s development in front of us. You know, it was, you know, they were cookie cutter houses for the most part. They weren't like, this was when developments weren't fucking terrible, and they actually built decent houses out of them still. So at the very least, there was that. But like, it was still just enough, and is like, when I go visit my parents, there are still like gunshots going off that you can hear elsewhere, and like, it's so fucking weird. It's, especially with where I live, like, it's not rural. Where my parents live, it's not quite rural enough to really hunt, so I don't fully understand that. But at the very least, like, it never had anything like that, like high school level crazy. Ugh.
Did I mention that all the water in Sally's house comes from a well?
Ew, really? Does it taste like rotten eggs?
Not all well water tastes like rotten eggs, Bess.
I don't know if it does or not, because the well is so old I need to get the water tested before I drink it.
Good plan.
Except you are, there we go.
Faster than a nice tall glass of contaminated water.
I think somebody may have deliberately put poison down Sally's well.
Yikes.
What makes you think that?
The Department of Health found unusually high levels of arsenic in the water sample I sent them.
Somebody's trying to poison you with arsenic?
They said that?
They weren't sure. They were going to run some more tests.
So somebody could be trying to poison you.
But you don't know for sure.
Right, and they may not
Arsenic.
be trying to poison anybody. They may want to contaminate the well just enough to force Sally to either go to the expense of digging a new one or forget the whole thing and leave.
And because arsenic is found naturally in well water anyway, you may never know for sure. Bummer.
Yeah, so that's like the other thing. Like, we were rural enough that like some of the, oh my god, actual anti-Italian discrimination, we joke about that here in Boston, because it's like, it's okay, we joke, all right, I need to give more context here. We joke about it here in Boston. It's not that it's not a real thing or it hasn't been a real thing, because there are people in living memory who have experienced anti-Italian sentiment, and they are still coagulated very much in the north end of Boston, which was historically Italian, which is historically an Italian district. It was settled mostly by Italian immigrants in the early 1900s, and that's where all the best Italian food is, like, easily. But at this point, the people who tend, like, because there's this whole big brouhaha happening in Boston right now that a lot of pandemic era leeways, I guess is the right word, exceptions to the law, right, are being relaxed, or are being kind of not relaxed, they're being withdrawn. One of the big things that came about from the pandemic was, opening up sidewalks to outdoor dining, right? And even in the North End, they had outdoor dining on the sidewalks and everything like that. But the sidewalks already are really narrow, and the streets are even more narrow, to the point where apparently with the sidewalk side outdoor dining, you either were giving up parking spaces or you were clogging up the streets to make trash removal difficult. And so originally this summer, there wasn't going to be any outdoor dining in the North End. It was almost singled out. And a lot of the restaurateurs there claimed that it was anti-Italian discrimination from the current administration. Now, I do want to add a tiny little bit of thing. Not necessarily that this isn't necessarily true, that what they've said isn't true, but the North End, partly because it is a historically Italian district, and a lot of the residents there have been there for so long that they are very Italian, very Catholic, pretty conservative, are not happy with the fact that we have a progressive socialist mayor. And so, especially the business owners who are the ones complaining about this. So it's hard not for me to see this from a political lens. But like, it's also a practical one. The North End is just not, it's just not a place that you can really use that much space. I don't know what else to say. But we, like, my previous roommate, she was an Italian American, Italian Irish. Really, she was a marriage of both. And I used to make fun of her for, like, we used to equally make fun of the fact that she's Italian and anti-Italian discrimination whenever she was like mildly upset about something, or like I told her no, or little things like that. It was just a joke, but like it is a possibility that it's still a thing. It's a complicated thing. I also made plenty of self-depreciating jokes about being Irish myself. I mean, my first, middle, and last name are so painfully Irish, and Boston has such an Irish Catholic history, especially in Southie. I don't live in Southie, but I do live in a very Irish immigrant and second-generation dominant area, that people think I'm from here. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, your family's from here, right? I'm like, no, my family's from upstate New York. Like, my little nuclear family are the ones that moved out of the area and into this one.
I found the coolest old newspaper. It's from 1927.
Anyway, I don't know why I went on that tangent, but there you are.
About Mickey Malone and a man named William Akers.
Akers? Any relation to Park Ranger Jeff Akers?
When I asked, Jeff Akers said that it was just a huge unfortunate coincidence. According to the paper, William Akers was Mickey Malone's most trusted employee, his #1 go-to guy.
Where'd you find it?
So going back a teeny bit to what you said, Ragnarok, is with the bridge. There is a bridge in my hometown that we call the Swinging Bridge, very affectionately. It does not actually swing, or at least it's not supposed to. It's a footbridge that was built to get people from one side of the river to where the mills are and back, get workers back and forth. And it was built in, the 1900s and has not been renovated since. And I think it's finally getting a renovation. But like, when I was younger, we would go down there and we would go in the middle of it and we would jump on it because it's the swinging bridge and that's how you got it to swing. But it was moving like that because it was 100 years old. Almost died several times. No, you're fine. You're fine. You didn't bring down the vibes at all. I mean, what was it, like 2 streams ago that I sat here talking about appreciation versus appropriation and, frickin' Wagner and Stephen Sondheim. Like, I bring down my own vibes. It's kind of neat, though. That is kind of neat. I didn't know Moon Lake is an actual place, even though it's not quite the same as Moon Lake here, but like, Moon Lake, Pennsylvania is actually a place. That is kind of neat.
You know how I always seem to wind up in houses with secret passageways?
Sometimes I think they follow you around.
Well, I found these hidden stairs leading from the living room into the cellar.
What's down there?
That's what's weird. The stairs led down into this empty space. There's some kind of safe in the wall and a set of stairs leading to a door that goes outside, but that was it.
Why would Malone bother hiding a staircase if it didn't go somewhere important?
We absolutely go on tangents. And I mean, one tangent that is brewing and will absolutely happen at some point, specific to the Nancy Drew series, so at the very least it will be very topical no matter what, is going to be about where the Nancy Drew series are set, right? Specifically about like real life locations that Nancy Drew is depicting. There are a couple of games that do this, but for the most part, when they are set in a place, they're communicating like the idea of a place, and they're not necessarily like giving you landmarks or anything like that. Think like Stay Tuned for Danger, for instance. It takes place in New York City, but you never go to like the Empire State Building, Central Park, or the Metropolitan. Like, you're going to these places that don't actually exist. It's set in New York, right? So it is abstract enough that even people who live in New York won't necessarily feel weird about it. But then thinking about, and this is the one that affects me the most, and especially my boyfriend who lives there, Salem, Midnight in Salem, takes place in Salem, Massachusetts, and it has so many different elements that are very clearly communicating. They're very clearly communicating that they're supposed to be historical landmarks, right? Like specific ones that I know and I've been to. And it feels weird. Like, I don't know what else to say. And so I'm terribly interested to like kind of take a look at some of the other ones that might be like that. I don't think we've had any other ones that are like that, really. Because, let's see, Secrets and Kill takes place in a random place in Florida that I don't think really exists, and again doesn't have any landmarks really. Stay Tuned for Danger takes place in New York but doesn't have landmarks, so it is a specific place that is abstract enough to not matter. Message in a Haunted Mansion takes place in San Francisco, but you never leave the house, so again doesn't really matter. It's completely fictional, and what you don't necessarily have that frame of reference. Treasure in the Royal Tower takes place in Wisconsin, but you don't leave the castle. It is kind of its own thing, which is in of itself kind of ridiculous. You know, the idea that this tower was shipped over from France and somehow nobody knew about the secret compartments or anything. Whatever. The final scene takes place in St. Louis, but you don't ever leave the theater. I guess the closest that I could say is that the final scene, the Palladium Theater, is supposed to, I think, kind of be a stand-in a bit for the Fabulous Fox, except the Fabulous Fox is a much cooler looking theater than that. I think it was more to tell a little bit of the story of the magic part, not necessarily St. Louis. The fact that it's in St. Louis is just kind of, whatever. Then Secret of Scarlet Hand is in Washington, D.C., but again, you don't really go to any place that actually exists. The hospital itself is even not real. The one thing that really bothers me about Secret of the Scarlet Hand when it comes to the place itself is you go to the Mexican consulate, which, first of all, based on the map, is in Virginia, not in D.C., because everything, like in DC, if it's north of the Potomac, it can be DC, but Virginia took their part of Washington, DC's square back a long time ago. And so south of the Potomac is all Virginia. It doesn't matter. And so the consulate, for some reason, is on the south part of the Potomac, which means it's in Virginia. And there wouldn't be a consulate if there's also an embassy, which there would be because it's the capital of our country. That's my little thing. I know where the Mexican embassy is. There is literally no reason to have a Mexican consulate as well. Just doesn't make any fucking sense. A consulate is for another major city. Like there's I don't actually know if there's a Mexican consulate here in Boston, but I know there's a UK consulate here in Boston. And the representative that's here, again, not really an ambassador, but the representative that is from the UK government, usually goes up to New Hampshire to attend the New Hampshire Highland Games. And that's the reason I know that there's a consulate here in Boston. And then Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. Moon Lake is a real place, but rural enough to not be real. Yeah, right. But this is such a fictionalized account that like it's not even resembling the real Moon Lake, other than it's called Moon Lake and it's a state park. Like those are the only two kind of things. Like we don't actually know that this Moon Lake is the Moon Lake. It could be a different Moon Lake, I guess. And so I think it's abstract enough. And those are the ones that we played so far. I'm trying to remember what's after this. It's Haunted Carousel, isn't it? I guess we're having this discussion now. I didn't think we were going to go into it, but I guess we're having this discussion now. Yep, the Haunted Carousel takes place in New Jersey. Again, doesn't really exist. It takes place completely within a fictional theme park, which, again, has its roots in some history, but doesn't necessarily... I don't think it evokes a specific place. Secret of Shadow Ranch, same thing. It takes place in a fictional place, in a real place. You know, doesn't necessarily tell you anything. Curse of Blackmore Manor takes place in England, but it's in a specific house. So again, evokes something that doesn't actually exist. Or it evokes something that does exist, but is completely fictional. Secret of the Old Clock, first of all, historical fiction, right? 1920s or 1930s. And again, completely fictional, you know. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, fictional again. I don't even think you have real life locations through that. It's just states. Danger by Design. Danger by Design is the first real big one, because that takes place in Paris. Not only does it take place in Paris, but the park, Pont-Neuf Park, is an actual place. And I found this out recently. Danger by Design actually recreates Pont-Neuf very accurately, down to the paths that it uses. The art isn't the same, obviously, but like, I do wonder then, and this is kind of where this conversation is going, for people who are very familiar with or even live in Paris, who know Paris, what does it feel like to play that game? Like, does it feel kind of surreal that you're like, this is supposed to be like, because are there moments in it where you're like, I don't know, going to Cafe Kiki and you're like, I know where this is supposed to be. I don't think Cafe Kiki is a real place, and I don't think it's meant to evoke one, so I don't think it necessarily works there. Oh, what else do we have? Creature of Kapu Cave takes place in Hawaii, but doesn't necessarily have a place in Hawaii. Like, I think it has a particular island, but it's remote enough that it doesn't matter. You know, it's not, again, there aren't landmarks it's trying to emulate. White Wolf of Icicle Creek takes place in Canada. That's all you need to know. It's just Canada is a fiction. Sorry, CJ. Sorry, Tina. Neither of them are here, I don't think. But no, it is, again, so abstract. Like, it is an abstract conception of the idea of Canada. Legend of the Crystal Skull, that takes place in New Orleans. There's another one that could be weird because there is the section with Bess and the French Quarter. So there's that. Phantom of Venice, that's another one that has quite a few moments where I'm curious. Like, because they have the big places like St. Mark's and stuff like that, but those are just shown as postcards. You can't actually wander around St. Mark's. But it might be just enough that it might make Italians feel weird. Haunting of Castle Malloy, totally fictional, just in Ireland. Ransom of the Seven Ships, completely fictional. It's somewhere in the Caribbean. Warnings at Waverly Academy, somewhere upstate New York. Upstate, quote unquote. It's probably near Albany. Honestly, that's not really upstate. Trail of the Twister, also fictionalized. Shadow of the Water's Edge. It takes place in Kyoto. I guess there are probably some parts of it that could feel weird to someone who lives in Japan. And I do wonder about that, but I don't think it's too much. Captive Curse, fictional place in Germany. Alibi in Ashes, completely fictional town. River Heights, Tomb of the Lost Queen. It takes place at a fictional dig site in Egypt. Deadly Device, fictional laboratory in Colorado. Ghost of Thornton Hall, fictional house in Georgia. Silent Spy, Edinburgh. Actually, not even just Edinburgh, all over Scotland. And I think there are some moments that are probably evocative and make Scottish people feel weird. I do wonder about that one. Shit, I just dropped that. Shattered Medallion takes place in the New Zealand wilderness, so I don't think that matters that much. Labyrinth of Lies, I think it takes place in Athens, if I recall correctly, but it takes place all within a fictionalized museum and theater. So again, Sea of Darkness. I don't believe Skip World is a place. Yeah, it's not real. So it's a fictional place. And then Midnight in Salem, which is the big one. And it's the one that I was talking about, where playing it as someone who is from Massachusetts feels fucking weird. It just feels fucking weird. Because I'm walking around being like, I know what this is supposed to be, and it's not quite that. And it makes me feel weird looking at it. Like, I will definitely go into detail when I play it, but that's obviously at the end of our playlist here. Sorry, I was looking at a different thing in the screen, so I didn't actually see the chat. Let me go back a little bit. This game is supposed to take place in summer, apparently, but the trees are dead. It looks like early spring or fall. Yeah, I think the dead trees are supposed to communicate how dry it is. But like, if it's so dry that the trees are dead, that's not like, that's a really bad situation. Like, that's not summer anymore. That's like, yeah, don't spend time here. Everyone will die in a fire that will be completely accidental. Something like that, right? Interesting thought. That's kind of how you feel about this game. Interesting that you say that, actually. Because this was one of the ones that I pegged that wouldn't necessarily be like that, but I guess, yeah, it's evocative enough of, northeastern Pennsylvania and a certain amount of it that, like, for someone who lives there, that probably ends up feeling kind of weird. Yeah, that's fair. It's just like, yeah, it's just that weirdness of like, I know what this is supposed to be, but it's not quite right. Warnings at Waverly Academy in Waverly, New York. I don't actually know. Let's double check. Oh, I take it back. It is actually in upstate because it says it's near Lake Placid, which I didn't know. And that is actually upstate. That's where my family's from. And it's in the Adirondacks. That is actually upstate. Where does it say that, though? Okay, a boarding school in the state of New York near Lake Placid. And I don't know where Waverly, New York is. Zoom out, please. I do not know routes that well. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Waverly, New York is in the opposite direction. Waverly, New York is on the border of Pennsylvania, south of Ithaca. If it's supposed to be up near Lake Placid, then this is like northern Adirondacks. Like, not far from the Canadian border, kind of northern Adirondacks. Not quite as far north as Plattsburgh or Potsdam, but really far north nonetheless. Like, it's still cold in the summer, kind of cold. We don't talk about Shattered Medallion. Oh my god, no, we don't. I'm gonna play it, but I'm ranking all of the games, so I can tell you right now, I'm gonna be very biased against that game from the get-go. Question for you on a similar topic: have you played Fallout 4? Oh boy, takes place in Boston and touches upon Boston landmarks. Do you feel weird playing that? Yeah, I do. It's really fucking weird. And I can get on this fucking soapbox for a while because this is like the one of the reasons why I was so like primed for Midnight in Salem to weird me out was because I had played a little bit of Fallout 4 and I had gotten so excited about the fact that Fallout 4 was in Boston. First of all, I hate Fallout 4. I do not think it's a very good game, but that's also because I don't really like any of Bethesda's Fallout games. I like Fallout New Vegas because it does a really good job of actually telling a decent story, in my opinion. And Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 struggle because they're so enmeshed in the like you have to choose between two morally gray options and that's so edgy. It's like, please. Or like, you know, in Fallout 4, for instance, with the ending, you can choose the one ending that is actually good, right? Which is to kind of go it solo, but it's made very clear that that's the wrong ending. That like the power structure you've built won't last politically. So it's the same problem that I have with Skyrim, honestly. It's Bethesda's form of telling edgy storytelling to me that I can't fucking stand. As a sandbox, it's cool. You know, as like if you just want to go around and like kill things and do the side quests are usually pretty good, but like the main quest always sucks for me, and that usually just takes me out of it so much that it feels like this game is pushing on everything. Like one of the big problems there are two things that I can point to with Skyrim that I fucking hated. One of them was the overall story of like you have to pick whether you side with the Stormcloaks or with the Empire, right? And the Empire is bad because they're all encompassing, but the Stormcloaks are bad because they're fucking racists. And I'm like, okay. The real problem is that the Thalmor control everything. And we know this, and we are apparently the most powerful person on this planet right now, so why can't we go after them? But no, the game wants you to play this story, despite teasing that there's this other story happening in the background that ultimately means that whatever you do doesn't matter, is kind of what it ends up feeling like. And then specifically a smaller quest that happened, I think was in misremember the name of the city. No, Silver something. Shit. Markarth. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Silver. Markarth. It's the kind of quest that happens in Markarth where you end up being framed for something and get sent to jail, and it's because the shitty ruling family wants you to assassinate a rebel leader from the prison, but the rebel leader wants you to assassinate the shitty ruling family. And they're both terrible people. They're both terrible, like, you know, the ruling family basically committed a genocide, and then the people in the jail are like, we want to commit a genocide. And it's like, how about no to both of you? Which when I went and played it, right, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play like I wanted to play it. And this is a game that lets me apparently do everything. And I broke the game. I broke it because I killed the guy in the prison and then got out. And when I got out, I killed the guy from the ruling family. Because I was like, both of you deserve to die as far as I'm concerned. Don't be racist dickwads to each other. I don't care which one. Like, you're both. So what ended up happening at that point is the guards continued to approach me and tell me that I was under arrest, and then none of the dialogue options worked. Like, it would just, I would click on the dialogue option and then the dialogue window would close and they would turn away, and then they'd come back to me 2 seconds later to be like, you're under arrest. And I'm like, you just said that and you didn't arrest me. So, and the fact that Bethesda wrote this quest in such a way that there was no option to do what I did, right? Bethesda, ultimately, right? Yeah. Like, I broke the game by being a good person, or at least in my mind, you know, taking a road that, a narrative path that was apparently so out there for them that they just couldn't. And the fact that I'm like, it's just because I didn't want to fall into your categories of gray morality. Like, I am an optimist enough to believe that there can be a good option. Sorry. And so, yeah, that, like, that same level of storytelling I saw in Fallout 4, not as much in Fallout 3, but Fallout 3 was hard to get going because it's an old game and it does not like running anymore. Fallout New Vegas was just as difficult, but felt more worth it to me. Because then, while there was some levels of like gray in there, it was more a question, it was less a question of will you accept something that is partially good and partially bad, and what partially good things are you okay with, and what partially bad things can you justify to get those partially good things. It was more a question of what are your personal priorities for your morality, right? Because at the end of Fallout New Vegas, there were basically 4 options. One was the bad option, and there was no good way around that. That's Kaiser's Legion. It's bad. It's bad. End of story. Don't even talk to me about it. Then your other 3 options are basically take over New Vegas with the Yes Man and kill Dr. House. Mr. House, sorry. Take over New Vegas with Mr. House and leave him alive, or take over New Vegas with the NCR, the New California Republic. And then it kind of was like, all right, the New California Republic idealistically is good, but they are stretched thin. They're mired in bureaucracy. There are problems that they're facing that is ultimately being taken advantage of by people who have corruption, and therefore it is not a perfect implementation of what ideals it claims to uphold. And it is not getting this, it's not getting its citizens what they need. So is that something that you can support? Because its ideals are good, but its implementation isn't working. If you go with Yes Man, like, your ideals then become dictatorial, right? You become the person who runs everything, but then you have to deal with the prospect of, okay, well, I can impose my morality, which might be good, and I might be able to like be a good leader and shepherd these people in some way. But what happens when I'm gone? Right? What happens when I'm done? Then there's Mr. House, who, same kind of thing, becomes dictatorial, except this time it is this old world genius who kind of has a fleeting idea of what is and is not important, but is quite literally genius enough that when he says, I can put man back on the moon in less than 50 years in the post-apocalypse, you fucking believe him, right? And so then it's like, what's your priority? What's your morality here? And that's why I find that more interesting from a gray morality standpoint than a lot of what Bethesda has actually put out. Which makes me nervous about Starfield because I want to like it, but I don't know. Toddward has disappointed me before, like with Fallout 4. And like going back to the original point, Fallout 4 has absolutely weirded me out with its things before. Like, a specific example I can give is the Paul Revere statue is far too close to Old North Church. Far too close. There's a huge plaza there. And it's, again, not really important. There's nothing in between the two that is important in any way. But, like, it's just weird to be like, this is like a place that I know, but it isn't. I spent a long time playing it, looking at the skyline of Boston and trying to figure out which one is supposed to be the Prudential. And the answer is none of them, because it's not our Boston, it's a different Boston. The Alston Bend is like smushed and it's tiny. The fact that you can walk from Lexington and Concord to downtown Boston in like 10 minutes is fucking bizarre, because Lexington and Concord are so far away. Like, it is an alternate Boston. You're right. You're right. I guess I'm trying to figure out what your last comment was. You don't. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I like games that let you play with politics, especially when you get to like political power play things. I think this was very clearly seen in Dragon Age Origins for me. I love the whole Game of Thrones bullshit that you get to kind of pull, which is one of the reasons why I like playing human female nobles as a background in that game, because you can finagle your way into the throne. And I'm like, I enjoy that little bit of tinkering and weirdness and be like, I like that kind of a thing. I don't know that I want to deal with like real life politics, but fake politics I'm cool with.
Hey, newsflash.
Also, I'm supposed to be playing this game. I'm just getting so off topic, and I'm sorry.
Or artifacts.
So what does it have to do with?
Gold, as in 600 pounds of gold bullion.
Come on, Nancy, tell us everything. Gold is one of my favorite subjects.
Well, I found William Akers' journal, who, it turns out, was our friendly park ranger's grandfather.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Not as interesting as 600 pounds of gold. Go on, Nancy.
Had you ever heard of the hole-in-the-floor gold heist?
I've heard of the hole-in-the-wall gang.
Well, according to Akers' journal, in 1931, somebody stole a shipment of gold bars in broad daylight by dropping them through a hole in the floor of a moving train.
Let me guess. The thieves were never caught, and the gold was never found.
You got it. According to Akers, Malone masterminded the whole thing, and he hid the gold right here on his Moon Lake property.
You think it's still there?
It must be. Like you said, Nancy, that would explain why somebody wants Sally, and now you, out of there so bad.
I also found a map with the inscription, "The dogs will lead the way."
You found a treasure map? My gosh, Nancy. Secret passageways, buried treasure? You're like a magnet for that stuff.
The dogs will lead the way to what?
According to the journal, Malone left Akers the map and said it would show him where the gold was, but all it has on it is that inscription and some landmarks.
What kind of landmarks?
The house, the shoreline, some rocks in the lake, the pump, the cemetery, and it's crisscrossed with lines like a grid.
A grid? Sounds like precise locations are involved.
Bye, you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
So, I mean, like, my interactions in Fallout New Vegas with the Legion were mostly waltzing into their camp and just shooting anything that moved, because I was like, I want you to die. It was fun, because I was also playing as a woman, and so it was the same kind of thing. They're like, no women can ever beat me, the Great Kaiser, and I walk in with, like, a pistol, and I'm just like, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. Because you're taking slaves, and that's not cool. I think where we left off was with the fire in the shack.
Hello?
Hey, Sally, it's Nancy.
Nancy, hi. How's it going?
That Emily Griffin is quite a character. How well do you know her?
I feel like I've known her all my life. She's so open and friendly. She likes to make it sound as if Moon Lake used to be a major hangout for criminals and degenerates, which isn't really true and irks some people around here no end. But I figure she's just trying to make a buck.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna, like, shit on people who played it because they wanted to see what happened. But, like, and it's not even like, you know, what you pick is a reflection of your personal politics and priorities ultimately, but it is kind of like, because it is ultimately a role-playing game. And when I played it, my character in my head, at the very least, was like, because I modded the shit out of it, and that included adding clothing, and I had this like skirt suit which looked very like government agent kind of a deal, and so I was like, you know what? We don't really know what actually happened to Europe in this universe. What if Europe is still intact? And what if my character is like an Interpol agent or something? Because I just wanted to do that and was like scoping out what's left of the US and manipulating it in her favor, kind of a deal. And so that's kind of how I ended up playing, which is why I always, or at least I only played it once. That's why I ended up going with the House ending, Mr. House, because I was like, let's get some company old world secrets. Sure.
I'm afraid I have some bad news. I had your well water tested, and according to the health department, it contains a very high level of arsenic.
Arsenic? Somebody poisoned my well?
Maybe, maybe not. The health department is running more tests. When you bought the house, did anyone
Hey, it's a good
have
game.
problem with the well?
No. And it doesn't matter. I love that house, and I am going to live in it. If that well's bad, I'll just dig another one. At least I will when I know for sure why bad things keep happening there. You are going to figure that out, right, Nancy?
You bet I am.
I knew I could count on you.
Were you ever told that Mickey Malone supposedly buried a small fortune in gold bullion somewhere on your property and that it has yet to be found?
Is this a joke?
Malone supposedly stole a bunch of gold bars off a train and buried them at Moon Lake. You never heard about that?
No. Could it be true?
Well, if somebody thinks it's true, that may be the reason they're trying to frighten you off your property.
How did you hear about it?
I found the journal of a man named William Akers in a safe in your cellar. He was one of Malone's closest associates. Ever hear of him?
Never.
I mean, hey, accidentally getting involved with a game series is kind of one of the best ways to get involved with one. Not gonna lie. That's how I started with Mass Effect, and now Mass Effect and Dragon Age by extension, because they're both BioWare gigantic scope RPGs, are some of my absolute favorite games ever.
Where'd all that stuff in your tool shed come from?
It's just junk left behind by previous owners. Came with the house. I've been meaning to take inventory and start pitching stuff, but I didn't. If they ever make procrastination a crime, I'm done for.
In the paperwork that you had to wade through when you bought this property, do you recall ever coming across the name Vivian Whitmore?
No, I sure don't. Who's she?
A close friend of Mickey Malone's, or so it would seem.
Her name wasn't anywhere on the deed. I know that.
Are you aware that you're the proud owner of your very own cemetery?
Yes. When the realtor told me there was a cemetery on the property, I went, ugh. But when I saw how far from the house it was and how small it was, I decided I could live with it, as it were.
Do you know if Malone is really buried there?
The realtor said the cemetery was just a sham, that there's nothing under those tombstones but dirt. But he may have just been saying that so I'd buy the place. The only way to know for sure whether or not Malone is there is to start...
We're not going to tell her about the fire.
I'm not going to do that.
Talk to you later.
Stay in touch.
Okay, sure.
If you're selling something, hang up right now. I got an air horn in my hand that could deafen a dinosaur, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, no, please. I'm not selling anything. Believe me. Is this Vivian Whitmore?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You got exactly 5 seconds to state your business.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, right. The Moon Lake Park Ranger said you might call. But you have to talk fast. An old friend of mine is flying in today from Florida. And when I say old, I mean old, as in 5 years older than I am. Don't bother trying to do the math, sweet stuff. You'll hurt yourself. So, that ranger fella said you found an old picture of me.
Oh, yeah, no, like, cemeteries are a huge thing up here in the Northeast, too. Like, oh my god. My hometown even has 5, I think. No, 6. I forgot one. And like 2 of them predate the founding of this country. Like, you know, that's the level of like, whoa. Um, so yeah, this cemetery in the backyard being like from the 1920s or whatever, I'm like, cute. 20th century? Ha. Like I found out some one interesting fun thing about older cemeteries, especially from like the early colonial, pre-colonial, colonial and like early US years. You can always tell the difference between a Protestant cemetery and a Catholic cemetery based on where the graves are facing.
Amber.
Oh god, the amber sound just like fucking scared me for a hot minute there. God. Oh, that game. Um um so what was I saying? Yes, Catholic cemeteries versus Protestant cemeteries. Catholic cemeteries have graves that are often back to back, and they face in whatever direction. It doesn't matter. Protestant cemeteries, all of the graves will face in the exact same direction toward the setting sun. They will always face toward the west, because it is a certain part of the belief of whatever sect of Protestantism was really popular up here. I don't remember what at that time, that upon the rapture, all the souls would be taken from their graves, right? Whereas in Catholicism, the soul leaves the body after its death, kind of a deal. It's confusing. Basically, it all had to do with the rapture and the usual, Christian death cult thing. But yeah, that's a weird, like, quirk that I've learned from some of that stuff. Also, hi, Kobo Puppy, welcome. No, you're fine. I enjoy these discussions. I really do. And honestly, I don't know how much of this game is left. We might easily finish it today anyway. So, me talking just makes this game a little bit longer.
It was of you and Mickey Malone. Do you remember him?
Of course I remember him. I remember everything about that time of my life. It was the roaring 20s, for crying out loud. One of the most exciting decades in American history. Just because I've got a few years on most people doesn't mean my brain's turned to tapioca, sweet stuff.
Did you spend much time at his place on Moon Lake?
Moon Lake. Talk about your fond memories. I had a lot of fun there. Although I wasn't anywhere near as wild as most young people were back then. But I think Mickey kind of respected me for that. I was his gal for 5 years. He always kept birch beer on tap at that speakeasy of his just for me.
Speakeasy, huh? No, you're fine, Kobo Puppy. No worries. I'm happy to have lurkers nonetheless.
Tell me about the speakeasy.
It was in the basement, right there at Moon Lake. Feds never knew about it, but everybody who was anybody on the East Coast back then, actors, musicians, bankers, politicians, they knew. You weren't big time unless you'd made at least one trip to Moon Lake Mickey's.
Did this speakeasy have a secret entrance?
There was a lock hidden in one of the tombstones in that little cemetery behind the house. You needed a key to unlock it, and when you did, stairs would appear that led to the speakeasy.
Do you have any idea how to get into Malone's speakeasy from the house?
I sure don't. That saloon was built using 2 main ingredients, concrete and secrecy. Mickey always bragged that nobody could get in unless he wanted them in, and I do believe he was right. But I'll tell you what, if you send me that picture of me and Mickey, I'll send you my key.
Oh shit, alright.
The key to the tombstone? You still have it?
It's in the bottom of my jewelry box. I've come this close to throwing it out 100 times, but it's so small and the memories it brings back are so big. Well, I just couldn't. As a joke, Mickey had a tombstone made with the name of this federal agent who had it out for him inscribed on it. That's the one the key unlocks.
Well, now we know how to get into the speakeasy. Problem solved, right?
You call Willie. He wrote about looking for the gold that Malone had supposedly buried on his property at Moon Lake. Do you know anything about that?
The hole in the floor gold heist. Well, I'll be darned.
That was the name Akers used, too. What else can you tell me?
Truth be told, when Mickey told me he was the one who pulled off that heist and that he'd buried 20 gold bars at Moon Lake, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up.
Only 20?
He and I were on the outs by then. I thought he was just trying to entice me to come back. But if he told Willie the same thing, maybe there's something to the story after all.
Did he ever say anything to you about a map?
Yes. He said he was making a treasure map and that... The dogs. Something about those dogs of his.
The dogs will lead the way?
He was always saying that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had it engraved on his tombstone. Think, Viv, think! He said he was making a treasure map, and that he was also having paintings done of each dog. He made it sound like one thing had something to do with the other, like he was giving me some big important clue. But I just figured he was playing games, trying to lure me back with mystery and intrigue. I told him to buzz off. Maybe I
Interesting.
shouldn't have.
Did he say what he was going to do with the paintings?
He said he was going to hang them in the speakeasy, and I
Aha.
remember precisely what he did.
Can you remember anything about Malone's dogs that might suggest where he hid the gold?
I stayed away from his dogs. They made me nervous, always jumping around, barking at this or that. The only one I liked was, what was his name? Iggy! I liked Iggy because he was nice and quiet. He just lay on the porch all day and didn't make a peep.
That is important, and I've written it down. Whoop. Da, 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 da.
Do you know anything about the safe that's in the cellar of his house at Moon Lake?
You must be talking about the wall safe. That was Willie's. By Willie, I mean William Akers, one of the guys who worked for Mickey.
Did all Malone's employees have their own safes?
Not hardly. Mickey treated most of his employees like dirt, but not Willie. He honestly liked Willie, trusted him. And when Willie decided he wanted his own safe, Mickey said, "What the hey?" No one knew the combination, not even Mickey.
What the hey is...
Willie was
Isn't that supposed to be H-A-Y?
He was a little paranoid and superstitious. Well, as I recall, he'd picked the most unlucky number
Yeah.
he could think of and used that for the combination. He called it a reverse jinx.
Unlucky number?
And we already opened the safe.
Like the date that something bad happened, like when the stock market crashed, or when somebody died, or the address of a house that caught fire, or the phone number of the police, that sort of thing.
It's been fun talking to you.
I know.
I know. Bye. Perfect. Okay, we finally got away from the phone. The noise that's happening right now tells me that it is daytime, so we shall take advantage of that and go mail this photograph. Oop. This way. Smart TVs. Oh my god, don't get me started on smart TVs and audio. So I had roommates that moved out, and they took with them the smart TV that was in the living room, and I was lucky enough that one of my mother's coworkers was getting rid of her smart TV, which was like the same size, the same 4K, and I thought, sure, free TV, I'll take it. It is a very old smart TV, like it is early smart, so it's like I wanted a TV that could at least do algebra, and this one is doing times tables. Like, it can't connect to Bluetooth anything. And so, like, my old roommates took the sound bar with them. The sound that was coming out of the TV was kind of shit. I have speakers in the living room that are hooked up to a Bluetooth receiver for my record player, and I've used them for TV speakers before, and I wanted to see if there was a way that I could connect the TV to the Bluetooth receiver as well. No, apparently, because it can't connect to the Bluetooth for some reason. But I was able to get a cable that literally ran from one to the other. I used the wrong cable at first, but We got it fixed. So the It's Locked thing, those little redeem things, which I have to do more of, and I meant to do it this weekend, but I ended up being really, really fucking busy. So they're stickers. They're stickers that pop up on the stream, and there's sound associated with them. So like the It's Locked one, for instance, is, of course,
It's locked.
and Nancy's face will pop up on stream, random spot, and bam. That's kind of what it's supposed to be. I only have 3 because it was a lot of work to create those 3. And I haven't done more because I haven't had the time. I need to make a list of ones that I want to do because there's a bunch from Nancy Drew already.
Hello again, Miss Drew. Am I in for another interrogation?
I'd like to mail this photo to the woman in Las Vegas. Can you do that for me?
As always, I'm here to serve, Miss Drew. Just give it to me and I'll take care of it. I'm sure she'll be very pleased to get this back.
Did your grandfather ever find any gold on Malone's property?
If he did, he never spent it. He wasn't poor when he died, but he certainly wasn't rich.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
Bye then. Can't really do anything until we get the something back here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I needed to do. I guess I need to give what's his face red knot. Oh, it just turned nighttime. Incidentally means that what's his face will be here.
Hello there. I owe you an apology. After you came up here looking for those red tails, I gave my map a closer look and realized it was more than 50 years old. Reason you can't find them is probably because their favorite nesting tree is gone.
Except for the one that was on
Harder than I thought.
speaker.
So why don't you just give me back my camera and I'll take it from here? It didn't get burned up in that fire or anything, did it?
You'll be happy to know that I did get a picture of a red-tailed hawk. So here's your camera back. I got all the birds.
Thank you, Nancy. Nice work. You're a credit to your generation.
Okay, Boomer.
Where did those gas cans
Oh.
come from?
I ran
Google just went.
So much for being prepared, huh? Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you've got places to go, things to see, people to pester.
See you in a while.
Yeah.
So gas cans, huh? Like light the thing on fire gas cans? Guess I'll set it back to AM and we'll go just check and see whether the thing has been delivered. Kinda can't do anything else, I don't think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oops.
A package just arrived for you from Las Vegas.
Perfect. That was really fucking fast.
Great. Vivian sent me the key.
I'll dispose of the package. Wouldn't want to break any littering laws, would we?
Thanks for all your
Do
help.
you not have a
Not a problem.
trash can in this place? I could just throw it out in that. It's right there. Whatever. Can be a little bit of a bitch. Okay, let's get into this speakeasy, shall we?
It's probably not safe to go in there.
Oh, I was hoping you would like... I mean, it smells like gasoline or something. I don't know. Give me something to work with, Nancy. Oops. I went the wrong way. No, I went too far. Aldo Matthias. Here we go. Oh. W, S, B, and T. U, R, A, H, L, N, D. Okay. Alright, UHS hints. Give me a hint. Not more than that. Just a hint. Okay, I guess we're in part 3. Oops. Did all the rest of those things, right? Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, does that not matter? Is that not his name? Hold on. Oh, right. Guess we just call Vivian again, is what it is, basically. Okay. Oh, I have sad news, everyone. I lost a follower. I'm now back down under 100. Oh, no. Sad face. We just celebrated the 100th follower just a little while ago, too. Oh, well. I mean, if I were in this for the numbers, I'd be doing a very bad job. I guess is the best way to put it. I've been at this for, what, 3-4 years? And, yeah. Have less than 100 followers, and am not really making money off of this at all. Not at all, I guess.
Hello?
Is this Vivian?
No, this is your station drop-off. Vivian's fixing snacks in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, Eustacia and Drop-Off? Harry Houdini's cousin?
Use the air horn like I showed you!
No,
I love that
Eustacia
they know
Williams,
each other.
Nancy Drew. I talked to you on the phone a couple of months ago, just after a friend of mine was kidnapped in St. Louis. I asked you questions about the theater where the kidnapping took place, the Royal Palladium, remember?
Nancy Drew. The Snoopy one. You're not dead yet?
No.
Most people, I talk to them one day, next day they're dead. It is an old age thing.
Oh, stop being so morbid here. Have some clam dip. Hello? Nancy? So you know Eustacia, huh? Small world. Well, what's up?
I love that they know each other, and I want to know the story of Eustacia and Vivian. Like, I want that spin-off. I want a game. I want a spin-off game. Like something like that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's just one thing. It doesn't seem to work.
Oh, where is my brain? The key unlocks the letters of the inscription. Just dial in the password and you'll be set.
There's just one more thing.
You don't know the password. I'm sorry. Eustacia and I've been playing canasta all day, and I guess beating her all those times took more out of my brain than I thought.
Canasta.
I win. Next game, loser pays for pizza.
Well, get out your wallet, sister, because you're going down.
I love these two so fucking much.
Oh, yeah, the password. Let's see. It was the name of that federal agent, his first name.
Waldo?
No, not his real first name. What Mickey was always calling him. Baldo. That was it, Baldo.
There we go.
I always thought it was mean to call him that. Especially since Mickey was starting to get a little sparse on top himself.
So I just turn the letters until they spell Baldo?
Yes, dear, but like almost everything else in life, it's trickier than it sounds.
Are there any other tricks to getting into the speakeasy that I should know about?
I suppose it's only fair to warn you about the tunnels, and the doors, and the dead ends.
There are doors down there? Where do they go?
Mickey had his men dig a bunch of tunnels between the speakeasy and the cemetery with hidden doors that opened when other doors closed, and lots of dead ends, so that if the speakeasy was ever raided, his guests could hide from the police. I was always terrified of getting lost, but you're a plucky girl. I'm sure you'll be fine.
What's great about this is I've been in actual real speakeasies and none of them are ever that complicated.
Talking to you.
23 skidoo, kiddo.
That would be, I'm guessing, your extra account. Why, thank you. Dreamy test. Happy to keep my my follower count in the triple digits. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot. I mean, it means a lot, but the number doesn't mean a lot for me. It means a lot that you were willing, yeah. I'm gonna stop talking now. I've had a very large drink. Like, this whole thing that I was drinking this time was about a third filled with gin. And I can take a lot of liquor, but that is even a little bit. Not much, but it's a lot for me. Like, it's enough to make me feel things. So, Harold's account counts. I mean, hey. I won't say no. I won't say no. Okay. Well, that's not gonna help me though. No. Okay, hold on. So close. So close. I mean, they're never gonna work because of being a dumbass. Hold on. Okay. That one spins all by itself. I would love to say that I know what I'm doing, but as it's very clear, I do not. Rippo, isn't that close enough? Isn't that enough? Bamdo, again, isn't that enough? No, it is not, apparently. Wando, again. Bunpo. Hey, I got it! That was not thought through. I just kind of kept going until it worked, and sometimes brute force gets you where you need to go.
It's too dark. I need a flashlight.
Oh, I thought that was like...
Oh, the batteries are going dead. I can't see a thing. I'd better go back.
Well, we need batteries. I mean, right. But then again, cicadas in real life are also fucking insane. So... maybe this was during one of the, like... that's a loud bird. One of their emerging seasons or whatever, when they, like... the brood... what does they call it? The... like, the last one was called Brood X, I think. And it was, like... a massive deal. I'm just kind of assuming we go to talk to Emily because she's got things that may include batteries.
How you holding up?
I need flashlight batteries. Do you carry them?
Yep. But you know, I've been meaning to make a pretty display out of them packs of combo coal over there for the longest time. Just can't seem to get around to it.
In other words, you'd like me to give it a shot.
Here's the way it should look when you're done.
I mean, honestly, cicadas, that sound is so closely associated for summer with me. Like, that's just what it, you know, that's what it is. So you're not far off. Like, to me, cicadas just sound like summer. Where is this? Oh, okay, here we go. Oop, nope. Two green, two yellow, purple, yellow. Okay, good start. Green, orange, yellow. Green, orange, orange. Green, orange, yellow, yellow. Left side's done. Already in place. That's all done. Let's flip that around, we're good. It's already good. Blue. Oh, it's already there. Flip it around. Already done. There we go. That's good. Oh, wait a minute. Flip that around. And flip that around. Well done.
Smiling goldfish. It's obviously never tried combo cola.
Hello, Elraz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. One is never too late to the mystery party. One is always on time.
Hey, Nancy. This mean you got them cans stacked?
You bet. They look just like the picture you gave me, which you can have back.
A detective is never late, nor are they early. They are always perfectly on time. Yeah, we haven't really done a lot. That is my fault. At some point, I remember the boat stalls. And I remember it being a terrifying moment when I was playing this as a kid. And I don't remember why. I just remember I was terrified of it. I don't remember if there's actually a fail state for it either. I think there might be. Like you drown or something. But it's again, it's the usual Nancy Drew, like, text pops up on the screen and, oh, you failed, ha ha ha. Here's your second chance button. So I don't know why I was so afraid of it. Please don't make me do this again. Oh my god, you're gonna make me do it again. Oh, my pronouns are he, him. Yep, my pronouns are he, him. Thank you for asking. Just tell me how to solve this. Don't make me do it again. One, two, 4, 5. That did not work. This is not... Is this randomized or something? Oh, that's just a diagram. There's the solving thing. Okay. Just give me the solution. Okay. Try it again. From the start. Okay. Don't have to do that again. A Land Before Time game. I mean, understandable though. That movie series was fucking
Try to explore this in the dark.
terrifying. Have a good night. Thank you for joining, Dreamy. Thank you so much. If I don't see you again, enjoy Friday. Enjoy it. I certainly know I will. That is a hole. Is there a... Okay, that's just a dead end. Okay. You just wander, and eventually we're gonna find what we're looking for. Is that what this is?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh? Pick a direction, honey. And if it doesn't work out, we backtrack. That's how this works. Huh. Weird.
So this is
Man,
the
it's...
speakeasy.
Ta-da.
Wow.
That's that. Dapper Dog Sodas and Spirits. Well, this is pretty cool. And here's Iggy. Yellow. Yellow collar, jewel thingy.
Those must be the spigots William Akers mentioned in his journal.
I don't remember what he said. Wait, she wrote it down in her PDF, or PDA, Jesus. Okay. Oh, it's not saying anything about it. Huh. Well, I'd hoped to not have to, but I can. Oops.
The spigot won't move. There must be a way to unlock these spigots.
All right, noted.
If map is correct, the tree where Vitus would bark at the hawks used to be right about here.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy. And Vitus. It's wearing a blue collar. Well, that's the agent that got him, so... Womp.
Ah, he's so cute.
Puppies. Well, Xander is somewhere. And wearing a red collar. I'm not sure exactly what that did, but... And Lucy's on the boat.
So Lucy would swim out to the shipwreck, which is about here.
She was wearing a green collar. Getaway car vacations, lol. Those are bullet holes. Can we talk about the bullet holes? I don't know why there's a harp on stage. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The boneyard. Okay. Oh, hold on. Hello. Oh. Okay. He definitely loved those dogs. That is correct. What am I ending with? Yep, it just clicked. It just clicked. Red, blue, yellow, green, like the dog's collars. So the yellow here is supposed to be an I. The red here is supposed to be an X, so... Just trying to see where the X is. There it was. It's after the D. After the S. I think I messed up. This is gonna go right past X. Yeah. What's before D? That's what I needed to land on. Right past it again because I'm a dumbass. Okay, now it should. Nailed it. Okay. Blue is Vitus, V. Here where that is. Okay. There we go. Yellow is I for Iggy. Do the same exact thing. Okay, and green is Lucy, L. Same exact thing, okay. Okay, that's just... Wait. Where did that open? Oh. So is that not here then, I assume? Hmm. What? What? There's no way back in, is there? Fuck. I mean, I guess... Now you can enter and exit through these doors if you wish, except I can't. I can't? Like, I know that this is where the door is, but there's no way to do it, so... Bullshit. Don't you make noises at me, you stupid bird. Okay. There is apparently a secret door that has opened nearby. Ah, like right here. Oh, there's lights and everything. Okay, that's Iggy on the porch. Oh, interesting. Vitus. Lucy, but the one we're interested in most is...
Xander, played by the
There we go.
pump, which is right here.
Okay, so if we give this an A1 kind of grid, Lucy would be A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Xander would be A, B, C, D, E, 1 to E7. Vitus would be C, 8, 9, 10, 11, C11. And Iggy would be D9. Let's try that. Hope that works. That's not it, though. Hold on. It's also not it. Also not it, but this also doesn't quite look like it. Oh no, I guess it is. Yeah, this one. So... And yeah, that is all exactly the way it should be. So... A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. C11. Then E7, A7.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it did not. But it's gonna collapse on me now. So what's up here?
So you're
Puppies!
those dogs. You look pretty real to me.
Puppies. Hello. This is glow in the dark toothpaste. Just in time indeed.
These dogs have been trained to act vicious on command.
That's pretty damning evidence right there. And that would be the glowing eyes. Oh, MM. Mickey Malone, I assume. Oh, look. Brady Armstrong. This is looking like... Yeah. This is what's-her-face. This is M. A freelance photographer that can afford a house on a lake. Okay. Sally M. gone. Who is Nancy Drew? ND knows about gold. Must find before she does. Whoop. Yes, we're gonna have problems in a few moments.
I bet the dogs attacked Sally's house because a high-frequency signal was transmitted to them through the speaker I saw on the roof.
Sorry, puppies. That's just a dead end. Okay. Do it again? Okay. A7. A, B, C, D, E7. D9. And C11. Something didn't sound good about that, though. That looks buckled, to say the least.
It's some kind of lock.
Ah, the Malone key. Figures. This looks like we're under the lake. That's disturbing. Ah.
It's locked.
It is locked. And it should stay that way. Because the alternative is very not good.
The wheel is spinning, but nothing's happening. It's locked. It's locked.
It's locked. Thanks, Nance. Well, it's in the negative range, is that? Yes? No? Wrong way. Okay.
It's locked.
Fail. Nope. Rip, 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 rip. Try that again without dying this time, perhaps. Oh, this is high. That's low. I see. So now I have the fill rate where I want it. Okay, I had the fill rate where I want it. What does this do?
It's locked.
Just to say, I am a little lost right now. Nothing's happening, even though the fill rate is negative. So it should be draining. I was gonna say, this big valve's not doing anything. How do I unlock that? Fill rate, water level. Oh, okay, so I've gotten that down. Yeah. Yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
The wheel is gone.
No shit, Sherlock.
The wheel is gone.
Okay, am I dumb? Oh. There we go. Ta-da! There we go.
I'm this close to finding the gold. I just know it.
You shouldn't have said that, Nancy, darling. That was probably a mistake. I really hope you're not being followed. All I gotta say here. Rollmeister Wellworks, 1924. Ah, it's a good thing I wrote down their years of birth. Here we go. Lucy was green, and she was born in 22. Oh boy. Wait, what? What? Wait a minute. So 1, 12, 23. Doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. Why am I feeling like a dumb right now? Okay, anyway, let's try another one maybe. Iggy was yellow, so Iggy was 19. There is no 9. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0. Month? Maybe? Because they do correspond to their seasons here, so I guess then Lucy would be 04. I don't know how to get the 0 over here because for some reason both of these move that and none of them move them individually, so... What? So this doesn't have anything to do with the birth year? Or the birthday, or the birth month. What? What? I do not like whoever wrote this guide. I don't like it very much. They explain far too much before they're telling you the goal of what it is. Let's look familiar. Yeah. Paintings of the dog. Yep. I know. They're associated with second people. I know. Have something to do with the dog's names. Oh my god. Fuck. Okay. That's a leap of logic. I'm not gonna lie. So the dogs are named Iggy, Lucy, Vitus, and Xander. And oh, this is dumb. I'm sorry, this is a little dumb. I'm not gonna lie. Roman numerals. E starts with I, so it's 1. Lucy starts with L, so it's 50. Vitus starts with V, so it's 5. Xander starts with X, so it's 10. That's a little dumb. I'm not gonna lie. That's I don't know how else to say it. That's a little dumb. Anyway. In which case, Lucy is 50, so it's correct. Xander is red and Xander is 10. No, I just went right past it. And right past it again, because I'm expecting something different. Jesus. Blue is Vitus, so it's 5. No, there goes that. 05. Come on, really. Okay. I went right by it again. Jesus. Okay. Florida, York, Jeunesse, and Lafornia. Seriously, like, could have picked anything. Him deciding that it's Roman numeral themed, despite having no clues from Mickey Malone that are Roman numeral based. All the Roman numeral things in this game came from modern sources. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Just saying. Just saying. Oh my god, I hate the fact that these are 5. It is throwing me all the way the fuck off.
Something's missing here.
Oop.
I'd better make sure this door is closed all the way before I fool around with anything else. It's blocked.
Aha! The massive amount of gold bars.
600 pounds of gold bullion.
Is that really 600 pounds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it's exactly 20. How heavy is a standard gold bar? Standard gold bar held and traded internationally by central banks and bullion dealers is the good delivery bar with a 400, a 12.4 kilogram nominal weight. Oh, there's an ounces. 438.9 ounces. So 27 pounds each. That's a lot. That's more than I thought, actually. But is it 600? No, it is less than 550, Nancy. I mean, unless they're not standard gold bars, but... I know, right? She gets 20 gold bars, but she'll still work for free. God. It's truth, though. And guess who?
There, Nancy. Why, what on earth have we got here? Don't you shut that door on me, Nancy Drew.
Dead. Nailed it.
Hey there, Nancy. Why, what on earth have we got here?
Okay. She's fast.
Hey there, Nancy. Why, what on earth have we got here?
If I don't keep moving, Emily will catch me.
This is safe.
There's plenty of gold. Open the door!
I need to get out of here.
Nope. Nope, Nancy.
Nancy, wait! Let's talk about this. This can just be our little secret. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, remember? Nancy?
The gold's all yours, Em. Enjoy it while you can.
And then she killed her. It is kind of...
As soon as I got out of the tunnels, Emily had left a door open. I called the sheriff. Led him back down the well to the room where I'd left Emily. She refused to leave. He and his deputies finally got her out, but one of them said afterward that if he had to choose between getting a bear away from her cub and getting Emily away from that gold, he'd pick the bear. What's worse, by the time they took Emily away, the place was swarming with reporters from all over the country. The commotion has scared away every bird for miles. I'm pretty sure Red Knot would like to strangle me.
Yeah, he can suck a dick.
When Ranger Akers found out that 7 cars and 2 helicopters were illegally parked on park property and that he was going to get to ticket them, he was ecstatic. Tucker Davis finally cleared away that dead tree, which means I'm free to drive home. Moon Lake is beautiful, but I've had enough wildlife for now. Which reminds me, did I mention that those 4 ghost dogs are actually very sweet? They're so sweet, in fact, that Sally is seriously thinking about adopting them. How's that for irony? Ever yours, Nancy.
Cute.
Bess, hi, it's Nancy. I'm at this little amusement park on the coast. I wish I could say I was having a wonderful time, but the
New England?
pretty spooky things have been happening here. There've been some strange accidents, and the carousel
New England.
dead of night all by itself, like it's haunted or something. You know me, I don't get scared very easily, but I saw it myself, and I'll call you later. I've gotta go right now.
That makes literally no sense. But also, New England telephone? Like, we all saw that, right? New England telephone? The haunted carousel takes place in New Jersey. That sounds like somebody doesn't know geography of the United States. That sounds about right. Yeah. The teaser is a little intense, isn't it? Like, just a little much. Here we go. Well, hey, look at that. It's 11 o'clock and we finished. How cool is that? Try not to get hung up on the New England thing. Like, that's bothering me a lot more than I thought it would. Anyway, that's our stream for the day. Oh my God. It's time to rank it. We got to rank where we put most ghost dogs. Here we go. Let me just quickly do a little bit of finagling. Hide these 2 things, open up these 2 things, and then... Doot. Okay. Why aren't you capturing the window correctly? Oh. There we go. Okay, give me a second. One more thing. And then we do this. Okay, so here's our soundtrack ranking. This is where we're gonna go. I'm gonna try to go fast because, man, my eyes need to not be open right now. So we're going to remix this list. That's how we're going to do this, because that saves our progress more or less. It changes the background color because it's homophobic. There we go. And we're going to find Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake right here. Bam. So Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. Soundtrack. The soundtrack isn't the most evocative, but it's pretty good. Like, it's not something that screams woodsy to me in some ways, but it's got like that nice little morning theme, which is a little strange. I think the music itself is a little strange just for what it's supposed to trying to be, but it kind of works. You know, it's supposed to be it's daytime at this beautiful outside lake kind of deal. There is kind of a generic creepy underground passage sort of sound that, yeah, that's fair. And there's kind of the noir-y sort of soundtrack bit. I'm trying to remember what else there is. There's a couple of other tracks in this. Let me pull up my playlist, because I have done this on the playlist. Pull up my Nancy Drew soundtracks playlist. And scroll down. Just play a couple more of these things, because I'm not remembering. Okay. Creepy forest thing. Fair. Oh, and the nighttime theme, which is actually kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. And the tunnel has its own music. Oh. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of creepy stuff in here. And some pretty nighttime stuff. You know, it does a pretty decent job though, I think. And there's a little bit of 1920s stuff in there. I feel like with as much 1920s as there was, I would expect a little bit more, but it's not that it's bad, it's just kind of surprising that it's not as much. I don't know. I feel like this one is not as good as our top tier. It's not quite a Treasure in the Royal Tower or Secret of the Scarlet Hand in terms of soundtrack. It is not as low as Stay Tuned for Danger, though. I think it is a solidly great soundtrack. It's good. It does exactly what I want it to. Stay Tuned for Danger just felt a little chintzy in some ways. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, it feels a little bit more real, I think. I think it just works. So I'm going to go ahead and rate it there. I'm going to go ahead and rate it there. Hit the save button on that. And then we're going to go back to my account and we're going to delete the one that has the extra thingy here. Delete. Okay. And then go into the game ranking. So this is the controversial one. The one where I will lose friends or make enemies. I don't know. So let's see. Our criteria, we've already talked about soundtrack. Let's talk about characters. They're not the strongest characters, really. They're not terrible, but they're not great. Like William Akers, or actually, it's not even his name. William is his grandfather, isn't it? Or great-grandfather? God, I don't remember. Ranger Akers, Emily, and Red Knot are kind of the big major characters that we actually encounter. And they're just kind of fine. The dogs are great. Dogs are fine. Vivian is a delight, and the fact that she knows Eustacia Andropov is amazing, and that whole scene on the phone is perfection. But yeah, the characters themselves don't really do a lot for me. They're not quite as completely... I think they might actually be on the same level as Message in a Haunted Mansion for me. They are just as pastiche and forgettable as Message in a Haunted Mansion for the characters. The story, though, was a lot better. Like, while the characters were kind of weak, their relationships weren't. Like, it was very clear that this is a group of 3 people that fucking hate each other. And they all have different reasons that they could be the culprit, right? Well, I guess actually the reason they could be the culprit was greed in finding the thing, but like there were potential other red herring motives that were sprinkled throughout the thing. Red Knot wanted to see everybody go away. Ranger Acres wanted to see the land returned to the State Park of Pennsylvania system. And Emily wanted to find the gold, or wanted to do her dragging thing, you know, right? There were all these false flags that were put in there. And that was nice. It was good touch. The puzzles were pretty good. The exception being that last one where you have to basically identify, you know, the first letter of the dog's name with the Roman numeral. Again, not well set up, because nothing that Mickey himself left behind indicated that that was why the dogs were named the way they were. Right? There was nothing to indicate that. It's just, this is a recurring theme you've had in the game so far, is, hey, you know, you've all had a bunch of time to deal with this Roman numeral stuff, so you should remember Roman numerals, ha ha ha. Like, that's not a good reason. You need to have a diegetic reason, and there isn't a good diegetic one. That's my only complaint about the puzzles for the most part. Otherwise, the puzzles are pretty good, and they kind of make some sense. Some of them are task-based, some of them are historical or whatever, like that's kind of cool. I don't know, like, it's at least a good game. It's at least a good game. I feel like it might be better than a good game. It feels better than Message in a Haunted Mansion to me. But I feel like putting it on the same level as Treasure in a Royal Tower feels a little disingenuous. I don't know. It's a pretty damn good game is the thing. Like, it's almost all of the loose threads are tied up at the end. You know, I have lingering questions like, what the hell is, you know, your friend, what's her face, the photographer who bought the place, what's she gonna do with the fucking speakeasy in the basement? Like, that's fucking cool. Open it up, make it another, like, the bug thing is frustrating. That is fair. The bug thing is kind of annoying. I had to look up where one of the bugs that I was missing was because I couldn't find it. So you're totally right on that one. I don't know. I feel like I just didn't have to look up hints for a whole ton of things. And the things that I did have to look up hints for were mostly to remind myself instead of having to go back and look at it, because I knew that was just going to take more time than I cared to spend. So it was mostly just me being lazy and less actually me not knowing the thing. I think even for that reason alone, I think I have to put it above Message in a Haunted Mansion. I will put it behind Treasure in a Royal Tower. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake is a great tier game, but Treasure in the Royal Tower is that much better. If only because the characters are a little bit more fun. Some of them. 2 of them. But like, Treasure in the Royal Tower's plot makes less sense than Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake does. So there is that. Yeah. I think this is where I'm going to land with this. I think I'm happy with this. So there we go. There we have it. Let's delete the old one. And there we are. That, of course, will be, like everything else, posted in the Discord. I'll do my little spiel now at this point because I am tired and want to go to bed. But I want to start by thanking all of you for coming out tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you to my subscribers for coming out to... thank you to my subscribers for supporting the stream in the way that you do. If you want to subscribe to support the stream financially, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you to my followers, of course, for supporting the stream. Today, we lost and gained back from 100 to 99 to 100 followers again, so I'm solidly at 100 again. Nobody else leave. You're not allowed. And thank you for the support that you give the channel. If you hit the follow button, you will be getting a notification as soon as I go live. If you want to know when I go live ahead of time, you can follow me at BOSTrophyWife on Instagram and on Twitter. There, I usually post day of when I'm going live and with what game. I also post over in the Discord, and like I said, these tiers are going to be over. These tier lists are going to be up there, the progress ones. You can find a link to the Discord there in the chat. It's also a fun place where we post memes, do little chats about things that are happening in the stream and games and whatever, just stuff we're doing. But it's also a place where we talk about games we played and games we're going to play, and including doing things like polls of what game should we play next. So I'm kind of still feeling Nancy Drew. I'm kind of still on a Nancy Drew kick. I know I said that I wanted to take it slow and like break it up in between a bunch of other things, but like I'm ready to play the next one. So we're going to be doing more Nancy Drew on Thursday. Let's be honest. It's going to be more Nancy Drew. So I do also have a YouTube all the way over there, BOSTrophyWife. I am a little behind on uploading some of those things. It is my entire archive going all the way back to my beginning when I started with Nancy Drew. So if you want to see some of the old stuff, check those out. They're not terribly good. I wasn't very good at streaming at that point, but it's still interesting. I am a little behind though. I had a couple of, I think it was last week, I had some issues with the stream where I had to start it. I had to stop it and start it again. And when I did that, it created 2 video files. I had to merge those together, which I've done. I don't think I've uploaded it quite yet. So I will get around to that soon. It's just going to take a long time, and I don't want to sit here waiting for it right now because I'm, again, tired and my eyes hurt. So thank you, Spring, for hating my face. And then finally, I do have a tip jar through Ko-fi. The link is right there in the chat. If you are a subscriber and you want to support me a little bit extra this right now, or if you'd like to support me a little bit but can't subscribe right now, that is the best way to do it. It's just any little bit helps, so thank you so much. Yeah, so that arcade game, oh boy. Yeah. It's not that I have strong opinions of like the game being bad, but I have very strong opinions, I think, about Haunted Carousel. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun to play. Like, I think we're still gonna have a good time, but like it's gonna be weird. Yeah. And yeah, I know you were expecting a controversial opinion. I'm afraid I don't have one for you this time. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake is a solid game. That's all I gotta say. It's pretty good. It does a pretty good job. I enjoy it. Forgot how much I enjoy it, I think. There are some games that I truly remember that I enjoy, and there are some games that I just, I don't know, I forget. This is one of them, I guess. It's fun. I enjoy it. So anyway, yeah, that's it for now. I will be back online streaming on Thursday when will BOSTrophyWife say something that'll get me canceled. Good question. I mean, I feel like some of the quote-unquote hot takes in the future might not actually be that hot or much of takes, to be honest. Like, I suppose maybe the thing that might get me canceled is I don't know, like playing Ransom of the Seven Ships, but I'm definitely going to discuss why Ransom of the Seven Ships got discontinued and they don't talk about it anymore. Yeah. I'm just going to talk about Johnny. Can we talk about Johnny for a minute? Like, I want to talk about Johnny. Like, there are 3 discontinued games in this series, and 2 of them are because it's on such old platform that it is hard to make run for a modern audience. And then one of them was canceled for a very specific reason. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you all. Wait, am I forgetting one? I'm tired. Hold on. Am I forgetting one? No, I don't have that up anymore. Oh, you only knew of one. Oh yeah, no, Secrets Can Kill, the original, was discontinued in 2010. And then Stay Tuned for Danger. Oh, I guess it does say it was re-released in 2016. Can you get it off their site? Let me see. Can you get... Oh, you can! I take it back. You can get Stay Tuned for Danger. Never mind. Stay Tuned for Danger was gone for a while. I think I do that, and that's why I remember it, because I remember having to buy a used copy or something like that. Or no, it was discontinued in 2010, 2011. So I actually owned it before then. But I do remember it being discontinued, and I remember it feeling like a big deal. But in 2016, they re-released it, which, because it's after Sea of Darkness, I forgot about that. So yeah, never mind. There are only 2 that have been discontinued, and they are Ransom of the Seven Ships, for a specific reason that I will not name at this moment, and Secrets Can Kill, the original, because they came out with Secrets Can Kill Remastered, and they want you to play that one instead. Like, they discontinued Secrets Can Kill original in July of 2010, and then released Secrets Can Kill Remastered in August of 2010, a month later. So yeah, it's fair though. It's fair though. Ransom is a game, and it's funny because the last time I played it, I hadn't played it for a very long time, and so the last time I played it on stream, I went into it being like, I feel like I remember this game being I feel like I remember this game being kind of fun. It's not that bad. Like, and then I played it again. I was like, I hate everything about this game so much. Fucking sucks. Not to telegraph where it's going to end up in the ranking or anything, but like, it's not a good game for many reasons. We can skewer it. It's fun. We can make fun of it. That's how it works. Anyway, I am going to go to bed. So thank you all for joining. I will be back again with you on Thursday with more Nancy Drew, with the Haunted Carousel that takes place in New Jersey, not not in New England. New Jersey is not a part of New England. It is south of New York, and New York is not a part of New England. I want to make that clear, because that's why my brain was confused when I saw New England Telephone Company or whatever, right? Yeah, Elraz, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, take care, everyone. I will see you all soon. Yeah, I'll see you all soon, and have a great couple of days. Bye-bye, everybody. Mwah.